I got you, people. So how you like the government now, right? Everybody was into taking all these migrants out, all these speaking Hispanic Latinos from North, South America, Central America, and sending them back home. Okay, you sending them back home, you happy, but guess what? Everything now is affecting everything, right? There's jobs to be filled, jobs are not being filled, things are going slow. You know, a lot of immigrant truckers are losing their jobs. The old generation is dying out, and you need to fill these spots, but there's nobody out there to fill these spots. So what a lot of truckers were doing, and the CDL was taking other exams for other people that don't understand the exam or know English or know the ways around the traffic, and were getting paid for others to take this exam. But it was an investigation that got found out. A lot of people got rounded up, a lot of people got fired, replaced, and now a lot of truckers are empty because there's no more drivers. And another thing is that there's a lot of people that are not out there doing farm work, right? A lot of farmers don't have the manpower anymore, you know, to pick up the crops, to lay down more seeds for new harvest. The manpower is just not there, because what the government did, that took all these people that were eager to do these jobs out of the country, right? So now the new thing is that the government had raised the age for retirement, right? 64. So you, the ones that were happy for taking all these people that were eager to work on jobs that you didn't like, get deported. And now those people got to get replaced. And guess what? The government have raised the age to 64 now. Your kids, or you, if you're not 64 yet, you gotta get out there and pick some fruits or vegetables or whatever. You gotta go to work. And there's no excuse now. If you don't tend to work, or you don't go out there at least get a part-time job, your benefits from the system is gonna be cut. That's what you wanted. You got it. Now it's affecting you, and now you're gonna cry and you're gonna feel the pain that most people that came to do these jobs, you're gonna feel their pain, right? Cause now it's your turn to do these jobs, right? And whether you like it or not, you're being forced, because the new age of retirement is 64, and you're not gonna enjoy your life. So from the time you're born to the age you die, you're gonna be working, and you're never gonna probably enjoy that money, because even if you enjoy, you're probably gonna have some medical problems, some back pains, you know, hearing problems, you know, blurry eyes, you know, because as your age, you get older, your vision change. Because it happened to me at the age of 50. My vision went cross, so now I need like reading glasses, but I can see from far real good, but from close I cannot see anything. But the thing is that now that people are more in a struggle, because right before you stay home and just receive that public assistance check, the government handouts, and now everybody's gonna have to work for it, no matter if you're sick or not. You can't prove that you can do absolutely nothing. You can't get away with it. You got to show up to work, part-time, full-time, doesn't matter, until you're 64 and you retire. That means you won't retire, even if you do 20 years in a job and you're entitled to your pension. You can't get nothing else until you're 64. So America wanted this to happen, and America got what it wanted. Now everybody's gonna be forced to be a slave to the government. Like I always say, the government is not here to help you. The government is against its citizens and this country. Instead of making peace all over the world, America's causing trouble, right? A lot of people already don't want to do business with America, right? Even they try with the Japanese, that's supposed to be one of our allies, because we have bound them and we got them under our grip, right? America tried to put a 20 tariff on them, and then they lowered down to 15%. And the Japanese said, that's not a good deal, we're not gonna tolerate that no more. And they refuse to trade now with the Americans now, because they say it's not acceptable anymore. So look at that. Even the Japs that's supposed to be our allies are shunning us out from trade. China, we got world trade with China. Now we got world trade with Russia. We got all these people with Iran, with India, right? With Africa, Canada. Look at all these nations that we have problems with the tariff wars and trade wars that are shunning us out because we think we could bully everybody around, right? Look, we got trouble with Venezuela. We always had trouble with Hawaii, Alaska, Puerto Rico, all these countries that the United States had its grip. They're losing. Nobody wants to trade with American commerce anymore, because why? We bullies and we want to force our will against them, and people are not having these things anymore. So the only people that are gonna get shut out from the world economy is the United States. The United States keeps on falling into these traps of supporting other wars instead of supporting his country first and his people. Instead of being more diplomatic, because that's what they like to always say. Let's go to a diplomatic solution instead of selling all these weapons to other countries to kill each other and have wars. It's not going to solve our problems. Right now, the people in this country need jobs. There's no jobs anymore. Nobody wants to open up business in this country anymore. A business open within 2 years, it's going out of business. It's closing. Because people can't keep their hands out their product. Instead of buying, they steal. And if they buy, they steal half the products. America's not the same like it was, like in the 80s. Even though the drugs were there, people, still work and things like that at the same time. But it's just bad, people. Things are getting worse. Employers keep on cutting hours. The economy's not doing good, and employers not gonna lose their income to employees that even if they got a job, they stealing the side. They shoplifted from their own stores. It's like that. It's always been like that. There's nothing you can do. When the economy is bad and our government cannot fix the problem of trying to draw other countries to come here and open up business, so the people, the local people, could have jobs, and pay bills. You can't. And half of the country, 95% of Americans, are on some kind of social service, public assistance programs to help them out in their daily living. That's how bad it is. And our government, instead of concentrating on the problem here in America, we're all over the place. And nobody likes American people no more. And when I say American people, I'm talking about the cracker people. I shouldn't said that, but you gotta make it humorous anyway. So right, these Caucasians are messing everybody's life up, and the way of life. The continuance of future generations to continue. It just can't continue. Everybody's fighting amongst each other, and there's animosity from country to country. Americans can't go nowhere without problems. The cause of all the world problems are the Caucasians. They came here and brought their problems with them. And it's in the book, right? The book of I call it stories of events, right? The conqueror will destroy his own home and move out and destroy other people's home. Move in and destroy, and keeps on moving to other countries and destroying other countries, right? Because the only people that live all over the world are the Europeans and the Caucasians, right? When the Caucasians from here in America don't go nowhere. Most of them never left the country. That's why they have so much animosity against other races and things like that, because they never leave the country. The farthest thing a Caucasian here in America went is probably to Florida, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, things like that within his borders. But other than that, he will never go overseas because he's not wanted. Nobody wants white folks anymore. White folks are the cause of the world global problems, and everybody knows that. That's what we just, we just can't present ourselves. Even if we try to be nice, people know that when we step into the country, there's trouble to be made, right? That's what they say. Something goes on, blame it on the foreigners, right? We just got a bad reputation even now. So I feel sorry for all your people that wanted this to happen, this immigration. It was all right, but, now it's backfiring. Now everybody that think that could just stay home and receive a government check, it's not going to get it anymore. And you're going to be working the next year in 2026 until you're 64, until the day you die. And, and you're never going to see your retirement. So it was, good while it was there, and everybody was jumping for joy that all of these migrants were getting out of the country. But now everything is stuck on the people. The people that really didn't want to do nothing now gonna have to do something. They're being forced by the government to do something. So how are you gonna escape it? You 64 years old or 55, you already got chronic problems, and you can't prove that you can't move. If you could leave your house, you're able to move. They're gonna make you get a job. So I guess you're gonna die old or trying. You're gonna probably catch a cardiac arrest while you putting stuff on the groceries, or while you're bringing a bag of chips, and you caught arthritis in your hand, and you messed up the computer count, and now the supervisor got to come and open the cash register and try to unlock it and try to fix the problem because you caught a cramp on your fingers, and you mess everybody up. Now you got the whole line backed up. Because now you don't got, younger people don't want to work. They don't want to do anything. They just want to stay home, play bills, and smoke, right? So then you're going to have all these 55, 60-year-old people at the cash registers and in all these places working. But I don't think that's going to happen. And now you got to be worried about all these things that are going on that people are already admitting what they're going to do, that they're going to be shoplifting all over these stores. And how you gonna protect all that? Who you're gonna arm security now? You're gonna have to pay these security guards, to arm them or whatever. They're gonna, it's gonna be chaotic. People are already planning what stores they're gonna hit, and they already got their tools ready. I don't know what the government had, was planning, think that all this was gonna work, but it looks like everything is backfiring. No matter what they did, it's backfiring. I know Donald Trump did this because he wanted to get elected. That was the only plan. But it looks like it's not going to work. The guy is backfiring and things are getting worse. Not only here in America, but all over the world. People are having problems. Everybody's shutting the dollar. The dollar is losing its values. It's depleting. You can go to other stores and people say that we don't want to use the dollar no more in other countries. What you going to do? You can't force them to take your money. Because I took a trip and I landed in Saudi Arabia, and I went to get the money. And every time they seen the American bill, they saw no we were closed or they were out of money. But anyway, people, you got to think about that, man. Your government is not doing the right thing. And who suffers more? The people that are minorities, or the people that are middle class, right? Because the rich never suffer. And with that, people, I let you go and you think about that. You got to have something to back yourself up. And with that, I let you go.